Have you ever felt like you're, I don't know, constantly dating the wrong person? Like you swear you won't do it again, but somehow
Mm.
you're drawn back to that same kind of drama.
Mm.
Or maybe you find yourself just exploding over something tiny, something trivial, and then instantly regret it. Or that feeling, that you're basically an imposter at work,
Yeah, that imposter feeling.
convinced they'll find you out.
Yeah.
It's like being stuck, right? Like you're living out some script you never actually wrote. If that sounds familiar, really, you're not broken. And you're definitely not alone.
Yeah, exactly. And that feeling, that powerful sense of being stuck, that's precisely what we're diving into today.
Okay.
Our sources look deep into this really quite revolutionary self-help workbook focused on schema therapy.
Schema therapy, right?
And our mission here is to try and understand why we keep repeating these really painful patterns. Because they're not accidental, They're rooted in these deep-seated beliefs, these emotional blueprints, often formed way back when we were kids. And understanding them, that's the first real step to changing things, to building a healthier life.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Schemas,
Yeah.
emotional blueprints. The sources use this analogy like colored glasses.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Given to us early on, family, friends,
Mhm.
our environment, and they just filter everything. How we see the world, how we react.
Yeah.
So if you always felt criticized, your glasses might just say, I'm defective. Simple as that. But we don't even know we're wearing them most of the time.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating, or maybe tricky, is how these schemas then become these life traps.
It's life traps, okay.
Yeah, they act like this invisible pull, drawing us towards situations, towards people that actually end up confirming those core beliefs, even when they're painful.
So, like the example, if you deep down believe you're unlovable.
Right. You might unconsciously find yourself drawn to partners who are, say, emotionally distant, unavailable. And then, inevitably, when they treat you coldly, that original belief, see, I am unlovable, it just gets reinforced. The trap snaps shut again. It's this familiarity, even of pain, that can sometimes feel, well, safer than stepping into the unknown.
Wow.
So schema therapy is about getting to that root cause, fixing the leaky roof, not just putting more buckets underneath.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so schemas are the blueprints.
Yeah.
But how do they actually, show up day to day? The sources talk about modes.
Yes, modes. Think of them as temporary states of mind, almost like different characters inside you that sort of take the stage when a particular schema gets triggered.
Like a cast of characters.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got maybe the vulnerable child, the
Yeah.
part holding all that raw pain.
Exactly. Or the inner critics, those harsh voices, often echoes from the past.
Yeah.
And then there are coping modes, which are really interesting. They seem like protectors, but often they actually keep the schemas going strong. And hopefully the healthy adult, the wise, rational part of you.
So why do these patterns stick around so stubbornly? It seems counterintuitive.
Well, part of it is our brain actually seeks consistency. It likes things to make sense, even if the sense it's making is based on a negative view of ourselves.
Huh.
And we help keep them alive, often without realizing it, through things like cognitive distortions, magnifying the negatives, minimizing positives.
Right.
And these coping styles, like you might just surrender to the schema, think, yep, I am defective. Or you might avoid anything that triggers it. Or you might overcompensate.
Like becoming a workaholic to prove you're not inadequate.
Precisely. These strategies might give some short-term relief, maybe, but long-term, they just dig the trenches deeper. They reinforce the trap.
Okay, so let's talk relationships then, because this sounds like it plays out hugely there.
Yeah.
The sources mentioned schema chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about? Is that why we sometimes feel this incredibly intense pull towards people who actually aren't great for us?
That's a huge part of it, yes. Schema chemistry is that powerful, often unconscious attraction.
Right. It feels familiar.
It feels familiar. Even if the familiarity is rooted in pain or dysfunction from our past, it triggers those old schemas. But, and this is the hopeful part, the path forward involves recognizing this.
Okay.
The goal is to weaken those negative schemas, those unhelpful modes, and really strengthen your healthy adult mode, your wise self.
How do you do that?
A key concept is limited reparenting. Essentially learning to be the good parent to your own inner self, especially that vulnerable child part.
So giving yourself what you maybe didn't get.
Exactly. Providing the nurturing, the validation, but also setting those healthy limits and boundaries that might have been missing. It's about actively changing how you think, how you feel, and how you behave.
Right, it's not just thinking differently.
Not at all. It's about action, too.
Oh.
And the ultimate aim, it's about reconnecting with what they call your happy child, that spontaneous, joyful, playful part of you that might have gotten buried.
Wow, okay, so just recognizing these patterns, seeing the glasses, seeing the modes, that's the first really powerful step.
It really is.
It sounds like it's, that simple and yet that hard. It takes time and definitely self-compassion.
Absolutely. So maybe, just as a final thought to leave you with, consider what colored glasses you might be wearing. The ones you've maybe never really questioned before. How might actively working to just identify them, understand them, how might that shift not just your immediate reactions, but maybe the whole trajectory of your relationships, your well-being, allowing you perhaps to build a life that feels truly aligned with who you are and what you really need?